What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We've got a new vehicle. My plan's to sell a car and a van and replace it with just one van. You've seen the Golf on the channel. It's my track day motor, it's my everyday motor, but I've been fishing quite a lot lately and I'm sick and tired of getting all the gear in and out of the car, pain in the backside. So we've got a small van. As you might know, I'm a bit of a V-dub fan, so of course I've gone and got a Caddy. Before we have a look at it, the reason why I've bought this one, because it's a little bit rough, it's the 1.9 TDI, ready for the PD130, PD150. We can put the same turbo off of my Golf on it, same remap, massive power, in a van, pretty cool. It's also got electric windows, air conditioning, single sliding door, didn't want twin sliding door. And it's not that easy to find all those requirements in a Caddy van. Most of them don't have air con, so picked it up last night. Let's have a little butcher's. There she is. It's not your average white, it's quite nice in blue. Travelled 100 miles to get it. The pictures were a bit blurry on the internet. I managed to chip the guy down. We got it for $9.50 in the end. It's got 8-9 months MOT, so we can use it straight away. Main panel is nice and smooth, we're happy with that. We've got a little bit of damage down here, a little bit of rust, easily fixed. Rear doors, normally these are absolutely punted in on the Caddies. As you can imagine, they are normally builders vans, so they get heavily punted. Rear doors are tidy, there's a little dent here, little dent here. Rest of them, nice, we're happy with that. It has got a catback exhaust, a little bit fruity, sounds pretty good, we're happy with that. We've got a small amount of damage going on here and a little bit there. Happy, easy repair, not too bad. The main panel, nice and straight. The door, nice and straight. There's a few marks in the passenger door, but they're only small marks. We have got a little tiny bit down the bottom of the door. It's not too bad. All easy stuff. Around the front end, pretty tidy. It's a little bit scabby around the arches, but they all are. My plan is, I like the Caddies a lot, but these front ends are a bit dated now. I can put the later front end on it. So rather than fix these wings, paint them up, make them look pretty, I will be putting the later front end on, and I think they look really good. Also some side skirts up it. It's got some 18-inch wheels. I'm not too keen on them. They've got good tyres, so I can find another set of 18s. I like some rotor grids or some rotor Bowler B1, sorry. Rest of it is not too bad. I'm sure with a wash, it will look a lot better than it does now. Had been sat off the road for I think 3 months, because when we turned up, the brake discs looked like they'd been through the sea. They look all right now, we've done 100 miles in it, but you can see all the brown that was on the alloy. That was all over the brake discs all round. So the first few miles it did not sound good. So have a look under the bonnet. That is a 1.9 TDI, and if any of you guys are VAG lovers, you will know that that's the BLS engine. Awful engine, these blow up. This one's actually made it to 190,000 miles, surprisingly, so it must have been loved at some point in its life, but that engine has got to go. Happy that it's the 1.9 TDI, because we've got all the wiring loom we can use on the PD130, PD150. He'd had a new clutch, it's had a new clutch and a flywheel, it's also had a new timing belt and water pump, it's also had a nice shiny new oil cooler down there. Reason why we got it so cheap, someone had done a clutch and flywheel on it recently. On this end, underneath the battery, there's 2 bolts that hold the engine up. Well, they've over tightened them and stripped the thread. So the customer driving down the road and the engine drops down. Luckily on these it doesn't drop all the way out, the drive shaft hits the subframe. Engines drop down and the threads are stripped out the engine mount. He said he'd spent more than he wanted to on it, he was sick of it, he's done with it, he just wanted to see the back of it. I said, all right, I'll have a go. So I turned up, me and Pumsy, he come along for the ride, nice one, big Pums. And we got the bolts back in, jacked the engine up, bolts back in, but the threads had stripped. So underneath that battery and airbox, we've got a ratchet strap holding the gearbox into the car. And it's sitting pretty sweet. Managed to do 100 miles in it at 70, 75 miles an hour. Didn't miss a beat. I know it looks a bit rough, but it actually drove. I know it looks a bit rough, but it actually drove mint. Happy with the outside, happy with the spec of it. Now, It was a builder's motor, so it is literally typical of a builder's motor inside. It is absolutely hanging, and I've already wiped the dashboard. Yeah, it's not pretty inside, but it is all plasticky. Even the carpet, which isn't carpet, it's a rubbery material, so that should clean up nicely. Hanging inside, hanging in the back actually. There's plenty of stuff in there. We've got wheelbarrows, all sorts. We've got a flip down bed, pretty cool. Don't know if I'll use it, but it is pretty cool. The guy used to do fishing and fishing out the back of the van, so yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let's get it over to the workshop. Let's clean the inside. Let's clean the outside. I reckon it's going to take me about 2-3 hours. Guys, I did plan to put the cleaning video, cleaning of the van, on the end of this episode, but I have spent 3 days, maybe 4 days, just cleaning it out and sorting it out. So that is another episode. This one's going to be short and sweet, just a little introduction for the van to the channel. Next episode we're going to be cleaning it out, and you don't want to miss it. It was absolutely hanging, and you'll be surprised at what we was up against. To all the Transit Connect lovers on the channel, I do apologise. My heart just weren't in it. The amount of welding it needed, inner and outer seals, I had to pass it on to someone else. I've got a VW Caddy to replace it. I'm straight on with this one. So again, if any of you join the channel for the Transit Connect, I wouldn't blame you if you unsubscribed. I would be gutted, but I won't blame you. Yeah, let's move on to the Caddy. Let's get it done. I'll see you in the next one, guys. On this one, I'm out.